So now what we have done, we have created the project and we have opened the project using the open folder. And now we have click on the terminal and new terminal. Now here we have to create the app. So here you have to mention Python manage.py, and here you have to the start app, and then you have to give any name. I'm giving this name as a sample. So once I created this sample, you can see one app is created. Now what I have to do, I have to create one URL file. So here I'm mentioning the urls.py file. And now I have to connect this my app with the main projects. So now what I have to do, I have to go to the main urls.py file, and here just I have to pass one function called include, and then here you have to add the path of the your app. So this is my first app, so by default I want to open this particular app only, that's why I'm not mentioning any other name. And here I'm including using the include function. Here you have to write the app name dot urls dot py file name, okay, and just save it and copy this particular url path and paste it in the sample folder. Okay, so remove this include is not required, and this particular path also not required. We're going to create our own path. Okay, so now whatever the functionalities you have tried, you have tried in the views only. So in the last class what we have done, we have just passed one particular statement. So let me do the same thing here. So what we have done, from Django dot http, okay, import http response, and here if I want to pass any http response, just have to create one function. I'm creating one function with the name of home, and here I have to pass the request parameter. Okay, and once you pass the request parameter, you have to return something, and here I'm returning the function with the http response, and here I'm passing one heading. Okay, welcome to my project. Okay, and let me close this heading. Okay, and now let me save this, and here I have to connect this views with the urls. So for that purpose, first I have to pass this particular views here. So it is in the same folder, I'm mentioning dot, and here what I want to import, I want to import the views. Okay, and here you have to mention what you're passing. So here this will be my main particular uh, page which I want to display. So I'm not writing any name here, and later I can display the other names for other pages. And here I'm mentioning the views, and what you have written in the views, that is nothing but the home function. And now let me save this and let me run this particular server. So here I'm mentioning Python manage.py run server. Okay, now once I run this, you can see we are getting the server is started and we got the link. And if I click on this particular link, you can see here welcome to my project is displaying. Now this is a simple thing to display our own content, but in the real time we don't like write just simple welcome to my project. There will be number of HTML pages will be there. Okay, so here how to display your own HTML file. So for that purpose, here you have to add some HTML pages. Okay, so when you are adding your HTML pages, this particular concept is called, okay, so let me write the documentation here. Okay, so this is called DTL. DTL means Django Template Language. Okay, so it means you're displaying your own HTML pages. Okay, so here what you're doing, creating your HTML pages and displaying in front end. Okay, so now here how to create that particular HTML pages and how you can display this. For that purpose, what you have to do, you have to create one folder. Okay, the first step is create a folder. Okay, and on that folder, okay, under the folder, create HTML pages. Okay, and then link this folder with your project. Okay, this is the option. So now let me create some folder here. So here, this is my sample folder, this is my tech folder. Okay, now I'm going to create one more folder, and here I'm giving this name as a pages. You can give any other name also, but now here I'm giving the name as a pages. So once you create this particular pages folder, now let me add one file. So here I'm giving this name as a index.html. So this is my basic the HTML file. Now I'll create the basic structure. So here, okay, so this is my basic HTML structure. So here I want to add some content. Let me add one heading, and let me make it align equals to center. And here I'll write welcome to tech. Okay, I want to display this particular heading. Okay, and after that I'll add some other particular content also. As of now I'm just adding welcome to my tech. So what is the earlier content which we are having? That is welcome to my project. Okay, so now we have this folder, we have this file. Now we have to connect. Where we have to connect? Okay, let me just remove the previous files. And now just you have to go to the tech, and then you'll find the setting.py file. Go to the setting.py file, and here you can see the section related to the templates. Okay, so here I want to add one particular folder name, okay, with nothing but I'm connecting my pages folder here. So how to connect this? Just you have to write os dot path dot join, okay, and then here you have to mention the base directory, okay, and here you have to mention the folder name. Okay, the folder name is pages we have created. Okay, now it is showing like os is not defined. So in the top of the page you can import the os anywhere. Let me just write it here, import os. Now let me save this file, and now you can see you'll not get the error here in the os. Now you're getting not getting any particular underline here in the os. Okay, so now we have created successfully. So just let me add the same documentation here. So what are the steps you have to follow? Okay, once you create this, go to, let me add, okay, connect your page pages folder with your project. Okay, okay, so how to connect this? The first step is go to setting file, and then go to template section. Okay, and next go to directories. Okay, and here add the path. So how to add the path? You have to mention os dot path dot join, and then you have to add the two parameter base directory, comma, in the quotes you have to mention the folder name. Okay, so in this way you're going to attach the folder. Okay, so now let me refresh, and here let me run this file. Okay, so now I have to do one more thing. Okay, so now you can see if I just check it, okay, so here you can see welcome to my project is displaying, but what is in my file? Welcome to my tech file. So now you just attach it. Okay, you have attached, but here you can see if you go to the views, what is displaying? It is passing the http response. So here you have to pass the, okay, your particular html page. So how to pass the html page? Here you have to add, okay, you have to pass the render function. Okay, so here you can see there is a render function is already imported here. Okay, and you
Sir,
can
sorry
see,
for interrupt, sir.
yes,
You're going too fast, sir.
okay, I'm writing the steps also here.
Yes, sir, but completely unable to catch you, sir.
See, simple what I have done till now, just I have created one folder, okay, with the name of pages. In that I have created one file index.html. Okay, and after that what I have done, I went to this particular settings.py file. On that I have went to the this template section. Okay, in the template section, in the template I have went to the directories, and just I have mentioned the pages. Only three things I have done. Got it?
Sir, what is the use of view?
In views we write our logics. Okay, whatever the functionalities, whatever the variable you want to store, whatever the objects you want to create, whatever the classes you want to create. Okay, and
Okay,
what you want
views
to
for
display. Okay, so in views file only we write our logics. Logic nothing but the your code, your Python code you have to write in the views.
okay, then URL, sir.
In urls we are mapping our functionalities in the url file. Okay, whatever you have added functions that we are attaching with the url. So whatever you attach in the url, okay, it is going to be displayed in the front end part as a one type of, just assume you say, similar to the hyperlinks.
Okay,
Okay, now, so here to execute this I'm going to use the render function. Okay, using the http response, what we are doing, we are just displaying our statements of string. But here in the page we don't display just a statement of string. Okay, we display the complete page. So that's why we have to use the render. Whenever you want to pass any just response as a text or a string, then go with the http response. Now if I want to display the complete page information, then you have to go the render function. Okay, so in the render function here, okay, so here I have to pass the uh, two things. One is the request as a parameter, and then here I have to pass the page name whatever I want to display. So here I want to display the page name as a index.html. Okay, so what you have to do, simply I'm writing here in the next step. Okay, now displaying html content in front. So what you have to do, simple, go to views.py file. Okay, and then create a function and return using render function. Okay, and pass page name as a argument. Example, let me copy paste the same code here. Okay, and here I'm pasting the content. Okay, now same thing we have done it, and let me run the file now. If I click on this, okay, so still let me save this once again. Okay, so the server will restart once again, and now if I click on this particular link, okay, now you can see here welcome to my tech is displaying. And now if you add any content in the HTML, just assume after this I want to add one HR line. I'll give this color something, color equals to, I'll give something black, and I'll increase the size equals to something 5 pixel. And now if I refresh this, now you can see there is a line is coming. And now whatever you update here, automatically it will reflect to your page here. Okay. And now just assume in the views I can add any variable names also. So just assume here I want to add something like services. Okay, as a variable name. And here in this variable name I'm going to add web development as a string. Okay. So just assume here I'll write web development. Okay, so this is my variable and this is one information is stored. Okay, and I'll add something like one phone number as a something one variable name, and here I'll add plus 91. Okay, I'll write 987654321 as a one number. Okay, so this is one number I have saved. Okay, now just assume I want to display this particular two variable information in the front end. Now this is my two variable information I have stored here. So now what I will do here, I just need to create, okay, uh, here in the HTML, you can pass any paragraph or else anything. Let me add one paragraph. Okay, and here I'll write our services. Okay, and here I'll add one more, contact us. Okay, now I want to display this two information from the backend. So here what I'll do, I have to pass this curly braces two times. This is also called expression. Okay, and same thing here also I'm passing here also. And in this I'm going to pass my variable name. So here what I will do is simply just pass this particular variable name. So here before passing this variable name, I have to mention these particular names into one dictionary. So here it should be converted into one dictionary. Just assume there is I'm creating one data, and here I'm going to add one dictionary, and in this particular dictionary I'm going to add one key. Okay, you can give any name. I'm giving A, and in this I'm going to save services, and here I'm creating one more key as a B, and in this I'm going to save the phone number. Okay, and I have to pass this particular dictionary in the render. So now here I'm passing the data. Okay, now let me save this, and here I'm going to the index.html, and now here I'm going to pass my data. Okay, so our services as a key I have mentioned A, and in the contact us I have mentioned the B. Okay, now let me save this, and now let me refresh. Okay, now you can see here our services web development contact as this. If I want to display this information into the next line, I can mention the BR tag. So here automatically this information will come into the next line. And whenever I change any information here, okay, for example, if I'm changing any information, uh, instead of web development, I'll write something, I'll write game development, and let me save this. And if I refresh, now you can see here, automatically it will change to the game development. Is it clear? Okay, so this place also, we make it into the string, so this plus symbol also display. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, just assume I want to create, okay, one more pages, and here I want to, okay, so here in this what we have done, we have saved some variables and saved some information, and we are displaying in the front end part. Okay, so let me add this point also. So what we have done, creating variables and storing some data and displaying in front end. Okay. So here, so first step, what we have to do, go to function, okay, and inside of function, create variables, okay, and here inside of this particular variable, store some data. Next, create a dictionary, okay, and add variables in dictionary. Next, okay, pass the dictionary in render function. Okay, so how to do that part? Let me copy paste the same code here. Okay, this is the code, and here in HTML, now go to HTML and pass the key in curly braces. Okay, here you have to mention the key. Okay, so this is your views.py file. Okay, and here I'm going to add the index.html file. Okay, now next, in the next step, what I'm doing, I want to fetch the information from front end to back end. Okay, so next step, what I'm doing, getting or fetching the data from front end to back end. Okay, so now here, first of all, what I'm doing, here I have to go to the my index.html file and what data I want to fetch. Okay, so let me just create one HR line. So this is the different section we are doing, and here what I'll do, I'll create the one input. So I'll create one form. Okay, and in this form I want to create one input, and here I'll write input type equals to number, and I'll create one placeholder also, so what user has to enter. So here I'll write number one, and I'll create one more input tag. So I'll copy this. Okay, so here user has to enter the second number. I don't want the ID, but I need the names because I want to read this data, so that's why name is required. We have already used the name in the JavaScript. Okay, and here next I want to submit this button also. So input, submit, and here I want to add a button. Okay, I want to display add something. Okay, so now let me just refresh how it is displaying. Okay, so this is the actual thing. Enter number one. Let me zoom it for you. Okay, enter number one, enter number two, and if I click on this add button, I want to do some particular operations. Now, so first of all, what I have to do here, I have to pass one name. So here I'll give the name as a n1, and here I'll give this name as a n2. So here two names I have assigned. So after assigning this particular two name, what I have to do, I have to fetch this particular two values also. So fetching this particular two values, okay, here I have to do one particular action. Okay, when I'm submitting something. So here I'll write the action equals to what. So here it should go to the, uh, let's add one more function, something like result function. I'm creating one more function to do this particular activity as a result function. So in this particular result function, I want to perform one particular action. So here I'll create one more function. So here I'll create one function as a result, and same thing I'll pass to one more request. Okay, and here I want to return something. So here, when where I want to return, I'll create one more file where I want to display the result. Okay, we can display in the same file also, but I want to display in the second file. You'll get the idea like how to create the multiple files. So here I'm going to render. Okay, and then here I have to pass request, and here I have to pass the file name. Just assume I want to create one more file. So here I will go to this pages folder, and I will create one more file with the name of result.html. Okay, so okay, so now once I create the second file, result.html, I want to display some result here. Okay, so I'll just add one heading as of now, and here I'll write one. This is my result page. Okay, now let me save this file, and here also I will pass the result.html. Okay, and now once you save this, what you have to do, the second thing, you have to add the path also. So here I'm creating one more path, and here I'll add the path. I'll copy this, I'll paste this. Now this is my second path. So here you have to give the name. So here I'm giving the result, because this is the not your main page, and here you have to add the function name, that is the result you have created. Now let me save this also, and now let me just go to the page which we have created. Let me close the previous pages. Okay, so now if I click on this add, where it is, okay, it should be redirect. Okay, so here still it is not redirecting. Okay, so now go to the index, and let me save this file. Okay, and result file also, I'll save this. Okay, maybe the files are not saved, and views file also, I'm going to save this views file. Okay, so now everything is saved, and you can see every time when I save this, it is refreshing. Okay, and now click on the follow. Okay, now if I click on the add, now it is going to the result page. Okay, but here I want to display this two number results. Okay, so here what I have to do, I have to fetch this particular information. So to fetch this particular information, we will be having one option called get or post. Okay, so these are the two commands. Okay, so here we are not using any databases. So these commands are from the databases. Okay, for example, get means you want to get something, and post means you are posting something. Okay, so here getting information means, here what I'll do, I'll add the get. So here I'll tell you the differences also, but just go to the example of this. Okay, I'm using the get as a method. Okay, so here what I'm doing, I'm taking one variable as a number one. You can give any name also, and here I'm requesting, what I'm requesting using this particular get. So what I want to get, I want to get the number one. Whatever the name you have given here, that name you have to mention. So here number one, and I want to get one more thing. So let me copy this. There is a number two. So let me write the one more variable name, number two, and this is a n2. Okay, and I want to perform the addition also. So here I'll write add equals to number one and number two, and I want to store this particular also. I'll write data 2 equals to, I'll create one dictionary, and in this I'm going to add the number one as a key. So I'll write number one, I'll store this number one, and here I'm going to store the number two, and here I'll store number two variable. Okay, and I'm going to store this add also. So let me add as a add only. Okay, and now I have to pass this particular dictionary. So this is my data. Now let me save this, and let's do some action here, and let's see what will happen. So I want to display this particular information in the front end part. So what I have to do, let me add one paragraph. Okay, and here I want to display number one is, here I have to use the curly braces, and here I have to mention the number one I have passes the key. Okay, and next I want to display, I'll use the br tag, and here I'm displaying number two, and again I'm using the curly braces, and here I'm mentioning the number 2. And next, here I'm going to display the add. So here I'll write addition of, okay, number 1 and number 2, and here I want to display the add. So the same name I have taken. Let me check it. Okay, n1, n2, and add. These are the keys are there which I have passed here. So now let me, okay, just rerun these things. Let me close the previous files. Okay, so here I'm entering something 12, and here I'm entering something 13. And if I click on the add button, you can see here number 1 is 12, number 2 is 13, and addition of number 1 and number 2 is 12 and 13. So but what is happening here, 12 plus 13 is, what is the 12 plus 13? 25, but it is not doing the addition. Why? Because it is doing the concatenation. So by default it would take any number as the input. What will happen, it will take as a string. This is the basic thing which we have learned in the Python. Now what I have to convert this as a integer. So how to convert, just you have to mention the, okay, integer, and here you have to close it. Same thing here also, you have to convert this as a integer. Now close this. Now let me save this, and let's do the same thing once again. Okay, and here also let me add 12 and 13, and now click on the add. Now it is displaying the 25. Okay, now just practice this, okay, whatever we have done. Okay, so tomorrow we are going to discuss some more important topics.